The morning after my wedding, my wife asked, "Do you care if my boyfriend comes over?" Boyfriend? I nearly dropped the mug. She laughed while scrolling through her phone. "Sorry, I meant my ex-boyfriend. He's coming over for breakfast, so maybe you should leave." The casualness in her voice made my blood run cold. She didn't even look up from her screen. Her thumb kept swiping, like she was browsing Instagram instead of destroying our marriage before it had even begun. Why would I leave? Who the hell is this guy? I set the coffee down harder than necessary. The mug made a sharp crack against the granite countertop, the same countertop where we'd shared champagne 12 hours ago, where she'd sat in her wedding dress eating leftover cake and telling me how happy she was. Coffee splashed over the rim and pooled around the base, but I didn't move to clean it. Carly finally looked up from her phone with an annoyed expression, like I was interrupting something important. "It's nothing. It's just Raul. He wants to see me." "Who the hell is Raul? You've made zero mention of any Rauls." My voice was getting louder. We'd been together for 3 years, engaged for 1, married for exactly 18 hours. She'd never mentioned anyone named Raul. Not during our relationship talks where we'd spent hours discussing our pasts. Not when we went through that couple's workbook the therapist recommended. Not even drunk at her bachelorette party when her sister asked about her exes and they all giggled about old boyfriends. I'd told her everything. About Jessica from college. About that disastrous thing with my coworker. Every embarrassing detail of my romantic history laid bare, because that's what couples did. They shared everything. Or at least I thought they did. "It doesn't matter. Are you staying here or not? Raul is coming in 5 minutes." She said it like I was being unreasonable. 5 minutes. She'd already arranged this. Already told him to come over to our home the morning after our wedding. While I was in the shower maybe. Or while I was getting the newspaper. Planning another man's visit while wearing the silk pajamas I'd bought her for the honeymoon. "I'm obviously staying, unless you have a problem with me meeting Mr. ex-boyfriend Raul." I crossed my arms. Carly rolled her eyes dramatically. The same eye roll she used when I forgot to take out the trash or left dishes in the sink. But this wasn't about chores. This was about her inviting another man into our home less than a day after promising to love and honor me. Ugh, fine. Just do me a favor and stay in the bedroom after you say hi. No, this is my house. What's going on? I was done being polite. My name was on the deed. I'd used my savings for the down payment. Spent weekends painting these walls the exact shade of blue she wanted. Installed those shelves she'd seen on Pinterest. This was supposed to be our forever home, and she wanted me to hide in the bedroom like I was the intruder. Before she could answer, there was a knock at the door. 3 quick raps, like whoever was outside felt very comfortable being there, like they'd knocked on this door before. Carly jumped up and smoothed down her silk pajamas, the same ones she'd worn on our wedding night, the ones that were supposed to be special. She tucked her hair behind her ears and checked her reflection in the hallway mirror. Actually checked her appearance for this guy while I stood there in yesterday's undershirt and boxers. She practically skipped to the door while I stood frozen in disbelief, her hand on the doorknob, the security chain we'd installed together jingling as she undid it, everything moving in slow motion, while my brain tried to catch up with what was happening. She opened the door, and in walked a man who looked like he'd stepped out of a cologne commercial. Tall, with dark hair and one of those perfectly groomed beards that took effort to maintain. Square jaw, broad shoulders. The kind of guy who probably did CrossFit and talked about it. He was pulling an expensive-looking suitcase and wearing a leather jacket that probably cost more than our wedding cake. Carly literally jumped into his arms. Not a polite hug, not a friendly greeting. She launched herself at him like they did in movies. He lifted her off the ground and spun her around while she giggled. Her legs wrapped around his waist for a moment before he set her down. They hugged for way too long while I stood there watching my new wife embrace another man in our home. His hands on her lower back, her face buried in his neck, and I think he got a hard on. When he finally put her down, she was glowing in a way I hadn't seen since our first dates. Raul noticed me and walked over with his hand extended like this was all perfectly normal. "Hi, thanks so much for letting me stay here." She was tired of visiting me at the hotel. His accent was thick, Italian. I shook his hand on autopilot while my brain tried to process what he'd just said. "Stay here, visiting him, hotel." The words bounced around my skull, refusing to make sense. "You've been visiting him at the hotel?" I turned to Carly. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Raul made himself comfortable on our couch. He told me, of course. After all, she's my girlfriend. Full story on channel link below.